What's good, guys? Welcome back to Profit Maximalist. I'm your host, Luke, and this is the show for crypto traders. If you're looking to turn a profit, you are in the right spot. And Bitcoin ripped up to 40K. That's been the peak during this bull run. The dip we had last week down to 30K is the largest drop we've seen during this bull run, and now price is bouncing back. I know it had some investors wondering if the bull market was over. I certainly don't think it is, but what I'm talking about on today's show actually isn't Bitcoin. It's a group of coins that has outperformed Bitcoin during its insane run. After this drop and bounce back, really they're outperforming in any scenario for Bitcoin right now, and I think that continues, that outperformance. So if you're focused on any group of altcoins, I think the DeFi group has to be it. And before I get into the episode, I know some people right now are saying, I feel like I missed the DeFi bull run. In 2020, those coins went wild, but it's actually still happening. And it's happening when Bitcoin does really anything. Usually we have to see Bitcoin in a flat environment or down slightly, and that's when alts can outperform. That's just historically been the case. But this group of coins specifically in the past 30 days is outperforming Bitcoin. On the bounce back, it's outperforming Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was going vertical, they were outperforming Bitcoin. This group of coins, I think, continues to steal mind share, and we're going to see a repricing in 2021. I'm going to talk about what that means. We're going to look at the charts, we're going to look at the data, and I'm going to talk about why DeFi continues to steal a lot of money, and that's where I'm focusing my attention and plowing money into. You guys are going to enjoy today's episode. If you're an alt trader, let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get right into it with the charts, with the data, and why I think DeFi coins are going to continue to be the best performing coins in the crypto market for 2021. It's not too late, and I'm going to talk about why. If you go back to last year, middle of last year, April, May, all the way through September of 2020, decentralized finance coins, or the projects focused on building those applications, were the best performing group. And it's because this is a theme for Ethereum, the second biggest cryptocurrency and platform, that's actually constructive. They're building things that are constructive to the entire industry, things like decentralized exchanges, lending, borrowing, ways to earn yield on your coins. These are projects way unlike we saw in the past with ICOs, where basically it was an idea on a piece of paper, no development, no traction. You're often giving your money and never really seeing anything built. It was big things like AI or whether or not logistics would happen on a blockchain. DeFi has taken hold as a narrative and it's not going anywhere. I think it's only going to get bigger, and that means the coins are going to do really well. But before I talk about 2021 and my outlook and which coins I think outperform right now, you have to set the stage a little bit. Let's go back to last year. 3 coins that were so important for how well DeFi did were YFI. You had YFI going from 1K all the way up to 30K per coin at its peak. You had things like synthetics going from under $1 all the way up to about $7 or $8. And then you have things like Aave, which around November of 2020 was right around 20 bucks. And before we even got to 2021, it had already done a 4 or 5x. Now, those DeFi returns are great if you were invested last year. But there's a large percentage of people that weren't. And now you're wondering, isn't it too late? Didn't those coins already go up too much? And I don't think it is. And here's why. This narrative and this theme of coins is much different than previous cycles and previous groups of coins where maybe money got pumped in because of a narrative or hype or an idea that was going to be built. This is different because these protocols are already built. There's billions of dollars locked up in these things, and the mind share and the amount of development activity and the amount of things that they're building that are actually being used today is much different. And even if you don't believe any of that, you can just look at the returns for the past 30 days and for the past week. These coins haven't drifted now down to new lows for 9 months or 12 months and found a bear market like most coins do after a bull cycle. They've actually recovered very strong, and some are already chugging towards new all-time highs. So now that the stage has been set, what's the trade? How do I make a profit from this? If DeFi coins were the best performing group last year, and they're continuing to be the best performing group this year, they've broken that cycle of an alt group that does well for a little bit, and then for the next 9 or 12 months does very poorly. And you probably have a ton of people thinking the exact same thing right now that even I thought back in May of last year. I'm just too late to profit on this thing. What's the trade? What's the situation? I think the only way that you can answer the question, what's the trade, is by understanding why they're going to continue to perform well. Why is money going to flow here? Why am I staying invested? I'm going to share with you guys some perspectives from some of the sharpest investors in the world about why they think the money is going to continue to flow into DeFi. This is a thought from Su Zhu, and Su was a guest on the podcast a while back, one of my favorite follows on Twitter. He's the CEO of 3 Arrows Capital, one of the largest crypto hedge funds in the world. Here's what he tweeted out. It's almost as if blue chip institutional grade DeFi tokens represent real ownership and participation in emergent peer-to-peer financial networks that may one day be underpinnings of the global financial system, and that they, when he says they, he means everyone, are starting to wake up and get it too. As in, the masses are starting to get it, not just the early investors, but there's an entire repricing happening where even the slower moving crypto investors are starting to realize some of the old projects they supported that are maybe trying to challenge Bitcoin, or some of the old platforms they supported that have grand visions but never actually built anything. That money is going to flow somewhere. So it either goes back to Bitcoin, or if it's still chasing altcoins, it's going to go to altcoins with billions of dollars locked up that are actually building things. Right? The normies are finding it as well, not just the sharp investors. That's where that additional money comes from and continues to flow into these things. If you want some evidence of that claim that new money is going to continue to flow into DeFi and that more and more marginal dollars are finding this and it's not too late, take a look at this tweet from billionaire angel investor Mark Cuban. He's been a longtime critic of Bitcoin and basically every crypto, but he just tweeted out talking about ETH, and he said, once you own it, the cost of carry is now zero. And you compare it to a bank or another host, the cost of your own wallet is negligible, and there's an opportunity now to DeFi earnings. And so to summarize the answer to the question of why do I think DeFi is going to continue to do well, why am I focused on this? Why am I making this video for you guys right now? I'm always trying to look for new opportunities to make a profit. The answer to the question is there's a great repricing. A lot of the old coins and alts in this massive group of altcoins that are basically zombie chains now, that money is either going to flow to Bitcoin or it's going to flow back to DeFi alts. That's where all the mind share is, where all the activity is. And if you can own a stake in things that are actually being built, that are doing billions in volume, that have billions of value locked up, that billions of dollars are being borrowed and lent, if you can own a stake in those protocols, it's like owning a stake in the previous financial system, in the centralized financial system. Except in this decentralized system, in this DeFi system, now you can buy a token which gives you governance rights. You can vote on what happens on the protocol. You can maybe even earn a share of the fees that are generated on some of these exchanges or lending protocols. You're basically earning a share for the new financial system that's being built here. And if history's any guide, what's being built here in the decentralized world, in this DeFi world, is going to be much bigger than the centralized counterparts. Think about it like Bitcoin versus gold. Which do you think is going to have the higher market cap in 100 years? I think that Bitcoin's going to continue to chew into gold's market cap in the exact same way that DeFi, decentralized exchanges, decentralized lending protocols, are going to continue to eat into their centralized counterparts. And so to wrap up this episode of the Profit Maximalist Show, I'm always looking for a trade, for a setup. Where's the money going? What's the narrative? How am I turning a profit in this crypto market? I'm looking at the DeFi coins for 2021. No, I don't think it's too late. Objectively, it was the best performing group in 2020. It already is in 2021. It's keeping pace with Bitcoin. Money's going to continue to flow here. I think there's a lot of marginal dollars that are in old coins that are going to reprice and continue to pour into DeFi. It's just where the mind share is, where the activity is, and I think that's where we're going. I think some of these protocols are the only ones that have a chance for staying around as long as Bitcoin does. So now it's up to you. Do you believe that thesis? You have to do some of your own research, I imagine, think it through. You can also look at the market leaders like Synthetics or YFI or Aave. There's things like Link, Rune. I mean, there's a million different DeFi coins to look at. I've even made a screener you can check out. I linked it down below if you want to get access to it. It just has a list of all the top DeFi coins so you can see the biggest gainers or losers. If you're listening to this on iTunes and Spotify, you can head over to my Twitter. I tweet it out quite frequently. But basically, that's how I screen the market looking for DeFi plays. 2021 is going to be a wild year. You can probably do incredibly well just holding Bitcoin. But if you are playing the altcoins, if that's your game, if you like to trade, if you like to allocate a little bit of money to the alt plays, I think you have to be looking at where not only the smart money is, but where the marginal dollars are coming from, where they're going. I think they're all going to DeFi. So that's the play, that's the trade, that's where my dollars are going to in 2021, to Bitcoin and to select DeFi protocols. Those are going to be the trades to focus on. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Profit Maximalist Show. You can always watch right here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. I have on some of the sharpest investors in the crypto market. Ask them their opinions on where we think we're going, their investment strategies, their trades. Also have news like this coming out every single day. So hit the subscribe button on YouTube. YouTube. And if you like to listen on iTunes and Spotify, it's always available for you there as well. You can listen on those platforms too. So you get the crypto market updates on the go. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode of the Profit Maximalist Show, the show for crypto traders. Hopefully the bull market in Bitcoin and DeFi continues. See you guys soon.